Vintage Resume, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. My name's Chris Loxamana, and once again, this is the show where we dissect, we tell the story of people's resumes, aptly titled. And today, I am so excited because I have somebody who is just fascinating, a hard worker. Like, we went over his plugs a couple minutes ago, and an hour later, we decided to start the show because that's when he finished all the gigs that he has coming up. And I say gigs, and that's like the worst word to use because these are you know what? I use
that word too. I love saying gigs.
It's just easy, you know. And I like the hard G's.
Yeah, exactly.
So that voice you're hearing, that's Robert Knepper.
Hello.
Hey, thank you so much for coming in, man.
Hey, it's great to be here. And you know what? I love the fact that it's just audio. I love that it's radio.
Yeah.
I got all dialed up today. I was thinking, you know, I got to lose like 200 pounds, but it's going to be fine because it's radio. But
yeah,
I
the tuxedo's a little much.
Okay. Next time I won't wear a pink. But, you know, I love the fact that it's just audio because I pride myself on being able to hear very well. And I not necessarily loving the sound of my own voice here, but it's kind of cool. There's a lot of freedom with just talking, you know?
That's why I like this format. It's loose. It's we have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything could come up.
Exactly. Can I swear on this? I can't remember.
You could say whatever the fuck you want.
Okay, De Niro, thank you.
No, it's no FCC either. So it's and you would know a lot about that because you've been on a lot of TV shows, including Prison Break, known as Teabag.
I mean, how'd they get away with that? Teabag. They could put that on international television. That's okay.
The rules are crazy for all that. Like, it's so wild. It's the Wild West now with all that because there's so many loopholes. I hear shit all the time on TV now, and that it's like weird because
you can only have it's so weird. Like, you can only have so many shits.
The rules are
and so many fucks.
Yeah,
and you got one too many. But then you can turn around and call somebody a slimy butthole schnicken schnacker. You know, I mean, it's a semantics about words.
Yeah, like
Lenny Bruce.
Yeah, exactly. Like in radio, you can say, "Oh, I was so pissed off," but you can't say, "I pissed in the bathroom."
Right.
Like the same word.
Yeah.
But anyways, Prison Break.
We digress.
We do, and that's my favorite part about doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
This show.
Prison Break.
Never
heard of it. Is it a good show?
You know, we'll find out.
Is it a comedy? Can Adam do it? I don't.
He could totally do it. Prison Break.
So
now, we all love the show. And you were Teabag. You were an amazing character. A lot of depth. And in your
it gets deeper.
Storyline.
I have to say the 9-part. I'm calling it a rebirth, and the 9-part.
That's a great term.
Reboot for me is not the best word because they tend to fail. And I'm a part of 2 rebirths, Twin Peaks and Prison Break this year, and they both feel very, very fresh. And I hope that the audience agrees with that. There's some of the flavor of the old show, but my character, I know for sure, has gotten deeper. He's had some epiphanies in prison in that 6 years. We don't pick up right where we left off last time. There's been some time, and these characters and these actors and actresses have gone through some things in their lives. So that's reflective in the work.
Yeah, and that's Fox, April 4th. So everybody, set your DVRs, tune in, be there for the rebirth of Prison Break, as well as Twin Peaks, one of just a cult classic.
Yeah,
and the original cast, everyone's coming back, and that's May 21st on Showtime. And as I said, these are both rebirths, so you should definitely go back and check out the shows, the first part of these shows. Just get yourselves acquainted with these amazing characters. Robert's also on Instagram at Robert_Knepper official, and he will post amazing photos. So make sure to check that out, as well as Twitter. Tweet him, reach out to him at Robert_Knepper, KNEPPER.
I also love the Instagram stuff because I love comedy. I got to do a lot of funny stuff in Twin Peaks, and I can't help it. I'll see a funny situation sometime when Nadine and I are around the world, and I just say, "Oh, we got to tape this. We got to videotape this," or I say videotape. You got to pull out the iPhone, and like I pretended to fall on a banana peel on the Great Wall of China, and I put that out there.
Yeah.
Like silly little videos that I think, I tend to play a little bit more of the heavier roles. And lately, this past year, I've counted up 9 roles that I played last year. It's about 50-50 that half of them are great guys and half of them are not so great guys. So it's nice to balance it out, and you'll see on the social media that I like to put out these stupid little videos once in a while.
Yeah, your characters are really intense, so that's why it's kind of cool. When you came in, I didn't know what to expect, I'll be honest. So I thought, all right, Teabag's coming in. You're really I was really excited after I met you.
Anthony Hopkins the other day. And people asked me years ago, what's it like, playing Teabag and scaring the bejeebies out of people, and especially women? And I said, I'm going to answer it this way. One of these days I'm going to meet and I'm going to work with Anthony Hopkins. I'm going to ask him the same thing about what he went through on Silence of the Lambs.
Sure.
And I basically didn't have to get an answer from him. All I had to do was get a visual, which you can't get here. But he just rolled his eyes. He knew exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, he caught a lot of shit for that, too.
Oh, I'm sure. I remember the kid who played Joffrey on Game of Thrones. He quit acting after that, but I don't think it was that. But he said he couldn't walk down the street with just people yelling stuff at him.
Yeah. There's a price to pay for these roles.
Sometimes. Hey, that just means you're doing a good job.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Now, let's talk about some of the things you're in, just so people get acquainted with you. Prison Break, as we said.
I also want to put a little plug in for
iZombie,
which premieres the same night as Prison Break, April 4th.
April 4th is Robert Knepper night, everybody.
It's going to make your head turn.
Yeah, send the invitations out now. Save the dates. Yeah. iZombie.
No, it's like doing rotating rep, as we used to call it in theater days. Rotating rep, you play one character one night and switch costumes the other night. And that's what that whole year was like last year. It was terrific. Yeah,
my head's spinning just listening to what you've done, and you actually did it. So,
Who am I this time?
Describe iZombie for everybody.
iZombie is a beautiful, fun, funny zombie show that Rob Thomas created for CW. And it's Dave Anders and I just chew it up. I'm his father, a gazillionaire father, and he's this very funny butthead of a zombie, and we just go at each other. We thanks to Rob Thomas's words, we can be chewing on those all day long. It's terrific.
And that's on CW April 4th as well. So
yeah. Then Twin Peaks May 21st. That's right.
Jeez.
Dating Game Killer is a really strange, beautiful, odd story. Back in the 70s, there was a show called The Dating Game, and there was a guy on the show called Rodney Akala, and Rodney Akala somehow slipped through the cracks, got picked by the girl, and they didn't vet him or anything, and he won. He was picked as the 3 guys to go out with her on a date, and he came out a little too strong backstage, and luckily she said to him, "Fuck off! You're coming on too strong. I don't like this." He went off that night to a disco, raped and killed another girl. He's America's most notorious serial killer. Now, I did not play that role. You're looking at me like, no.
As you're explaining it to me.
I played Guillermo Diaz played that part, and he was fantastic.
I love how you have to just put that disclaimer. That wasn't me.
No, I played the detective that goes after him, that spends his life career going after this guy. So I'm not sure when that comes out. It comes out in the spring, I think.
Working both sides of the moral spectrum.
I like playing the detective. I have to tell you, it's they do the same things as actors do. We just try to discover the truth.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. I like that.
Yeah,
and I hear the bad guys are a lot of fun though.
They are, but I don't know. I think they're both fun now. I think it's just as fun to walk into the light now and kind of discover really exciting things that, how great can you be at doing nothing? I don't mean nothing in your life. I mean being still, like Gary Cooper.
Yeah, I like that.
Like Bob Mitchum, or, I like the parts, like I was talking to you about this earlier. I did this sweet little music video for Kiefer Sutherland recently called Shirley Jean. And what I love about it, and I did it for him because I was like, I don't want to do a prison thing again. It's about a guy who's going to he's on death row and he's going to be executed.
Yeah.
But I loved it because I sat there this song is in my head, this letter I'm writing to my girl, Shirley Jean, telling her, I don't know, I don't know if you care or not, but I really love you, and it's time to say goodbye, and I'm going to miss you, and all this stuff. And
I love that.
I don't talk because it's a music video. Kiefer talks. It's his song.
Mm-hmm.
And we finished it. We shot it the whole day. And I went home and I'm thinking, I love being in this silent film. It was terrific. It was all about reacting as opposed to acting.
Yeah, it's a whole different kind of a way of expressing yourself
exactly.
and your character's desires.
And people have told me I have pretty expressive eyes, so I can.
You do.
I can get
I'm
away
lost
with
in
it.
them. I've been lost in them since the mic's heated up. I'm in there.
And moving on.
By the way, Dean, Robert's wife, is doing the sound. So the reason this podcast is sounding so good is she's working the board right now too. So
working, honey.
Thank you, Nadine.
Thank you.
Let's see. I loved you in. Okay, you have a huge, very long IMDb.
I do.
/ filmography, and so you've definitely seen Robert. For those listening, you've seen Robert in something because
I'm that guy that you know is that guy. Once in a while, people know me as Robert Knepper when they're not looking down at their phones first. They go, "You're that guy that was in you." Now the name is sort of coming in with it, which is great.
Yeah, man. And I loved you in Heroes. I watched Heroes, and I remember your character in Heroes, and it was really great.
The lady who designed the clothes for me for that just did Kiefer's video, and she's working on Designated Survivor for him now. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. It's so great to see. My wife always talks about it. I had the best rock and roll clothes in that.
Yeah,
in that
you
show.
could. Yeah, you totally could. You should have kept them. You could have started a band. And you're halfway there.
If I could play guitar,
but you got the clothes though.
That's true.
It's
all about the image, man.
It really is. In the music video, you don't need to play your instrument, right? Just get the music video out.
Air guitar.
Yeah. Also, Jack Reacher, Never Go Back, Transporter 3.
Yeah.
Mob City, which is cool because Dana Gould, friend of the show, was in that too, and we love him.
Frank, good old frickin' Frank Darabont, man,
genius.
And then I worked with Eddie. I went on to Public Morals with him. Ed Burns created his own show. That was another shock. That was like, come on, man, what do you got to do to have a second season? That was an amazing show. Shot in New York. 1960s Vice Squad cops.
Such a good idea. I love that era.
It'll be back.
Like the stories.
And Eddie's not going anywhere. He's an amazing actor and creator, and the man knows how to put on so many hats at the same time and still like smile and be totally nonchalant about everything. It's great.
I can't wait. See, everything you're in is just coming back. People want more.
Look, I started acting because I was 9 years old when I started acting in a little community theater, children's theater, and I wanted to make people laugh. And I learned from the British people. I learned from the Welsh. I learned from the Irish to play. The acting to me was playing different characters, not being the same guy. And it took me a while. I finally came into loving American acting, but it was those guys over there across the pond that turned me on to acting.
What are the differences between British, American?
Well, I think they're schizo. I mean, they can play so many different characters. We tend to be Americans tend to be like the one person. You got a guy outside your door out here, the stone thing of Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a little bloated. I don't. It's not quite looking like it, but you can tell by his eyes that it's Clint. And to me, Clint. I mean, it took me a long time to really fall in love with that guy because I went, he's just doing the same thing in every movie. But then I went, oh, that's really hard. That's really hard to be that honest and to be that still. That we were talking earlier about reacting. And that's a whole art in itself. Instead of, I'm going to be big, I'm going to be glamorous, and all this stuff. And you don't have to do that. You really don't.
So, they're just different nuances.
Olivier was my guy. Laurence Olivier was the shit for me. And then it was, Anthony Hopkins, it was Peter O'Toole, it was Richard Burton. It was all these guys, Ian McKellen.
Oh, yeah.
All these amazing actors that were chameleon actors. And I always I toot my own horn when I say that, but I like to consider myself a chameleon. And when I look at last year, like at 9 different characters, then I'm going, okay, you know what I want now? I just want to chill out and do a guy play characters not so outlandish, not so crazy, and still be moving for people. I don't know, they'll probably go, Knepper, that's boring. Go back to your crazy stuff.
Play the old stuff. Play the hits.
Come on. Excite us.
No, I It's funny because I totally agree with that. When I see my favorite actors, they're British.
Yeah.
You're watching the show and they have an American accent, and you see the behind the scenes DVD, and or you see them on late night, and they have accents. You're like, that makes sense.
Gary Oldman,
I understand
Daniel
that.
Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
You can't say British there. You have to say Irish as well because they get a little testy about that.
Oh, excuse me.
Welsh. And Hopkins, I think, is very, you wouldn't want to call him British.
European. I'm just kidding. I'm giving them the continent.
Great Britain? No, it's not even Great Britain anymore.
Yeah.
Those Brexiters.
Yeah. I was there when all that happened.
Oh, the vote?
It was wild, yeah.
Were you in the protest too?
No, I was there. We were just filming some stuff, and and like the crew was up in arms, like they weren't happy. Yeah, but it was just a wild time to be there. It's kind of.
I played Bobby Kennedy years ago in a miniseries for NBC, and one of his lines that I love, he said, "Like it or not, we live in interesting times." And we are certainly living in interesting times right now.
Yeah, that is a timeless quote. It's always going to be.
And he really hit it when he said, "Like it or not."
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of the older times because the show's called Resume, and before the show's heated up, you alluded that you had some interesting jobs before. Or even during your acting career, and I
have to tell you, I haven't acted in 30 years. I haven't done anything except acting in over 30 years, and it's partially because of this story that I'm going to tell you. Which grab a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, and sit back and relax because we're going to be here all night.
All right, we'll give the listeners a few seconds to go do that. Put your feet up, get relaxed. And put the fire on. And
I think this falls under the category of you have to know when to move. You have to know when to let the wind blow you in a certain direction. People come up to me all the time and say, "Where do I go? Where do I study? Where should I start acting? Should I move to L.A.? Should I?" I started in the theater. I was a diehard purist theater actor. I went to Northwestern University, and like I said, I started when I was a little kid. And back then, I never even thought of doing film or television. I was in Chicago for a couple of years. I was doing loop theater in Chicago, and you had to supplement your income because you'd make like $300 a week. So I started working at a restaurant, like a lot of actors do. And then I worked about 2 years straight in New York Chicago, and then moved to New York. New York for me was always like the Mecca. I used to take these magazine covers, Theater Arts magazines it was called. It was an old magazine in the 40s and 50s. I'd take off the cover and I wallpapered my walls, my bedroom with them. I was a theater nerd.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Other guys were like jocks. My son's a jock, which is great. He's 14 years old. He's a total jock. I was a theater guy. I was the guy that made girls laugh.
Instead of nerd though, it's just you're passionate. Like it's weird.
Yeah, but I was a little guy. So the little guy didn't play the sports because the coaches didn't know how to teach the little guys. They just, "You're not big. Well, you can't be on my team. Forget it."
Yeah, look at me.
Look at you. You're the last one picked on the kickball team, right? So it's like it didn't work out for me. Now I'm athletic as crazy. I play all kinds of sports with my son, but I said, okay, this is what I want to do. I'd love to make people laugh and shock people, and so we'll keep doing that. So I moved to New York finally, my dream city to live in, and I get an agent. And which, by the way, is for anybody who wants to be an actor, they always say, "How do you get an agent in New York? How do you get an agent in L.A.?" There's no way to do it. I just picked up I forget what it's called now, Robson Report or Royson Report, something like that. Ross Reports, I think it's called, and it listed all the agents. And I had rollerblades at the time, and I skated all over New York, and they say, "Don't leave pictures, don't leave resumes." I left them anyway. And one or two of them called me, and then it worked out. And while that was all happening, I got a job working at a restaurant called Pizzeria Uno. I've never told this story before, and I'm a little nervous to tell this story because I might get really angry or emotional telling it. But it changed my life. I knew from the get-go, even in Chicago, that because I was a theater actor, and needing to supplement my income, I knew that when you first become a waiter at a restaurant, you have to be really, really good if you want to get your shift changed. I said that very slowly, so I didn't use the wrong consonants. You get your shift changed. So every waiter I know that worked in a restaurant, they get the crap job. They get the day job, right?
Yeah, the lunch shift.
You do the lunch shift, right?
Yeah, it's not.
And then when you're more experienced, you move into the evening, right? So in the theater, you rehearse in the daytime and you perform at night. So you rehearse for 5 weeks and then you run the show starting at night. So I knew I had to be a great waiter right away. In order to hopefully within a few weeks, 3-4 weeks at the most, go to the boss and say, "Hey man, look, I just got this gig," as we were saying. I got this gig, which happened over at the Public Theater in New York, and subtext saying, "Look, I know I've done really well for you. I've sold a lot of pizzas, and I loved working at Pizzeria Uno. By the way, it was a great place until this one thing happened, and the guy's name was, I'm not going to mention it, Greg, was the manager, and he understood that I was a good waiter. I worked really hard. My dad taught me to work really hard growing up, and I knew how to do it. So sure enough, I get a play, and I go to him and say, "Hey, Greg, I gotta switch to the night shifts. Is that possible?" And he was like, "Of course," because I brought them in so much money. So this went on for like another month doing the night shifts, and about I'd say a month into it, it was a Friday night. Friday nights are great for waiters. We make a lot of money, right? Especially that big turnover like Pizzeria Uno, right? And there were 3 guys that checked out pretty much back to back. It was me. There was another actor named Mildred. He called himself Mildred. And Mildred, if you're out there, I hope it worked out for you. And another gentleman's name, I can't remember, he was studying accounting at NYU. And we checked out around 2 a.m. when we finished the shift. I made like $500. And
nice.
Mildred made like $500. And the guy that was the accountant didn't make any money. In fact, he owed the house money. And we couldn't figure it out. We were trying to help him do this thing. And this was like in the early 80s, okay? So the whole idea of computerized machines were new. You put in a number or a chit, I can't remember what it was at the end of the night, and it would print out everything you owed the house.
Yeah, it gives you like your overview of what.
And then that rest of the money is yours, right?
Yeah.
Well, it printed all this stuff out. We all had our printouts. And this poor guy, he sold a lot of pizzas like we did, but he owed the house money and he had no tips. Absolutely no tips. So he was in the hole like $700 some bucks. And we were there till like 3:30 in the morning, and the manager said, "Guys, just go home. I don't know what's going on here. I'll figure it out." The next morning, Saturday morning, I get a call from him saying, "Okay, here's what's going on. I've decided that somebody took this waiter's money. So I'm subjecting you and Mildred, and in fact, everyone on the night shift, in fact, everyone on the day shift, I'm subjecting you all to a lie detector test. You got to come back down here to Pizzeria Uno, come down in the basement next to my office. I'm going to hire this lie detector company to come in, and you're just going to take this test." And I'm thinking, well, I got nothing to worry about because I didn't take this guy's money, and I'm sure Mildred didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to, it's going to be fine.
That's a crazy.
Well, it was a little strict, I thought. But you know what? What do I got to lose? I got nothing to lose. So I go down. I'm like, I've never taken a lie detector test. Have you ever taken a lie detector test?
I've always wanted to. I've never done it.
You may not be able to take one. I don't think I can. Although I've learned a few tricks about it, but I've never had to do it again. So they hook up these like electrode things to you, right? These things that register your heartbeat or whatever, your pulse and stuff. They turn you away from the guy asking the questions, and in between you is this little seismograph machine with the needle going on the paper, right? And they ask you simple yes and no questions. Is your name Robert Knepper? Yes. Do you work at Pizzeria Uno? Yes. Did you steal this waiter's money? No. Is your name Robert Knepper? Yes. Do you work at Pizzeria? Yes. Have you ever stolen anything worth more than toilet paper? And in the split second or seconds that it took me to answer, I suddenly flashed back to little tiny Maumee, Ohio, where I grew up. And my father was quite a bigwig in the town, and my best buddy I won't mention their names. They were also kind of biggies in the town. And for some reason, like a lot of stupid little kids, whether your father was rich or not, we had a penchant for like stealing candy bars. So we walked into probably the only pharmacy in town, and I was at rehearsal one afternoon. It was lunch break from my little children's theater, and I stole a candy bar. And the lady who owned the pharmacy caught me, and she said, "Do you want me to tell your father?" And I went, "No, please don't tell me." And I started crying, and I said, "I promise you I'll never steal again." And I never stole again, ever. But in that split second that the guy asked me, have you ever stolen anything worth more than toilet paper? I went, is a candy bar worth more than toilet paper? Is toilet paper? And
I don't know. Single
the little needle must have just been going crazy.
Yeah. You're trying to
I'm trying to figure this out. I'm not trying to lie. I'm just trying. And I said no, because I was thinking of that.
I think that's a correct answer. Yeah.
Well, I wonder, is a candy bar worth more than a roll of toilet paper? It's kind of a philosophy of life I think we're dealing with here now.
Yeah,
but no, I'm just kidding. So I finished. Is there a more repetitive question? More repetitive. Finally, he finishes. He unhooks me. He comes around. He's smiling at me, and he says, Robert, I have to tell you, in all the years that I have done this, I have never met a better liar. You stole that waiter's money. And I'm like, what? No, I didn't. What are you talking? Hook me up again, damn it. I didn't steal this guy's money. Well, you did it. Stupidly, I let him hook me up again. Meanwhile, now my heartbeat is going ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom.
Oh my God.
And I'm answering, yes, is your name Robert Knepper? Yes. Did you ever steal it? No. Did you? Yes, no, bah, 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 bah. Unhooks me. He says, you did it. You did it. I run down to the manager's office. I said, I don't know what's going on here, but that guy thinks I took this guy's money, and I swear to you I didn't take his money. He says, here's the name of the lie detector company. It's in Manhattan. It's in Midtown. You go past the lie detector test, and you can have your job back. Meanwhile, you are excused from work.
Oh, my God.
Like a big slap in my face, right? So I go home. I call my dad's lawyer, and my dad says, look, there's a reason why lie detector tests aren't admissible in court. They don't hold up because they don't give you any time for reprieve. And lawyers always love to compare themselves to actors. We're just like actors. We're outside the courtroom breathing and relaxing before we go in the courtroom. You're backstage, you're ready to go on, and you're just working all the nerves out. Lie detector test doesn't allow that to happen. It's catching everything you feel every second. That's why they can't be counted on.
Yeah.
He said,
I do that all the time. Like if I'm walking, even in a grocery store, and like the security guard just kind of peeks his head at me, I panic. I have a weird sense of panic. Like I'm not stealing anything. I swear, I didn't steal.
Exactly.
I didn't take anything. I'm just walking.
He said to me, do yourself a favor. Take some of your girlfriend's Motrin. Go to sleep. Wake up. Go to Midtown. Take the test. You'll be fine. Just cruise right through it. I take some Motrin. I go to the test. I'm like, hi, everybody. It's good to see you. Hook me up. And they hooked me up. I failed it again. I failed the test again. I go down to the office. Manager says, you're fired. I'm not going to press charges, but you're fired. The great thing about what happened to me is that, and nothing against waiters. I love restaurants. I tip really big every time I go to a restaurant. Sometimes when you're an actor and you have a secure safety job in New York, especially as a waiter, you might stick with it a little bit longer, and you might not be so hungry that you go out and get it.
Absolutely.
That forced me. I was at one more restaurant when I first moved out here, Gladstone's, for about a week until I got a job, and then that was it. And I never looked back. And why did I go to Gladstone's? I love eating at Gladstone's. Why do I want to work here? Yeah. So it's really amazing to me. I look back on that 30-some years ago and go, wow, I hated that guy. I absolutely hated him. Oh, by the way, 1 week later, no, two things, sorry. Mildred, the other actor, also failed the lie detector test twice. So now this poor guy has got two waiters that stole this one waiter's money. And he's got egg on his face because he's thinking, shit, what do I do now? Mm-hmm. He kept us both fired. The great thing that happened is a week later, the same thing happened again. And he found out that the computers were so new back at that time that there were three people left at night. The computer was it was so overloaded that it would take somebody's food order and put it on somebody else's because it didn't have enough.
Glitchy,
It didn't have enough room. So that poor guy was having to pay for more food than he actually had served.
And not everybody's making as much as they thought they were making.
But he did nothing to rectify it. He just kept both of us fired. He just wanted to save face in the corporation. I'm sorry if you're listening, but that's what happened.
I wonder how his accounting's going, huh?
Yeah. So, but the good thing about it is I went, you know what? I got nothing to fall back on here. I just got to go off and do it.
That's, you sometimes you need a little
It was a kick in my pants, man. Even though, like you, I went into a store a year later, and I was with an old girlfriend, and we were walking around trying to find some pasta, and we'd gotten a yogurt from the store before, and I'd eaten it, and I stupidly put it on the counter, and I saw the security guy down at the end of the aisle pointing his finger at me and beckoning me with his finger. And I went after him. What? You think I stole that? You think I stole that yogurt? I didn't steal that yogurt. I got that from the other store. He's like, whoa, I'm just saying that, it looks like you ate it. And you
loved you on Prison Break.
Yeah. No, thank God this happened a long, long, long time ago. But yeah, I've never told that story. Sorry, it's a long story.
No, I loved it. That is bizarre.
A lot of forgiveness went on with that guy.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've always wanted to do the lie detector test, and that's like he could have used that money to just pay the guy who lost all that money and then figure this out again, some other way. I mean, I've worked in restaurants and that stuff's happened before. No way. Like getting a lie detector test would be the last thing that these the managers I worked for would do. So that's bizarre. And I think the guy, that company reading the test, like if you and poor Mildred. Both
Mildred,
we're
and we're completely different personalities. Mildred is my memory of him was he was very outgoing, very flamboyant, very light on his feet, just a happy-go-lucky guy, and everybody loved this guy. Never, there wasn't any foretelling of, now I know why Knepper played Teabag because he failed the lie detector test. This guy, I don't even know if he went on to continue acting or not, but.
I wonder, maybe it's just actors. Maybe because you guys can transform yourselves. You said you're a chameleon. I wonder.
Maybe.
I would love to.
I really think it boiled down to is a candy bar worth more than a roll of toilet paper?
Yeah, that. I there's no way I could figure that out.
I hope we get a lot of fans
I guess
writing in saying we've done the tests.
Yeah.
It depends on the candy bar.
I won't believe you till you tweet your receipts to Robert_Knepper. I want everybody to go out there.
That I didn't get for years.
And before we go on the show, just wanted to thank our sponsor, Pizzeria Uno.
Greg, come up here and take a bow.
I love that story. And let's say that didn't happen. Where, like you just said,
who knows what I've stayed at Pizzeria Uno? Would I've become this manager, of a restaurant someday?
Because it's so hard to get out of there. I've done it. I've seen. I've worked with actors. I've worked with, or just anybody who you said, oh, this is just a gig to get me by until I get the real thing. And yeah,
even I just thinking right
so
before
easy.
That I had like what do you call those? I'm older, so we call them Gal Fridays. What do you call that? It's temp work. People that just help out temporary wise in an office sometime.
Yeah,
temps. And I got a job at like an investment company, just doing filing and stuff. And I was fast. And this guy came up to me after 2 Fridays of working there. This is again around the same time, like 1980, 81. And he said, "You're really good at this. Why don't you give up this acting stuff and come to work with us, this investment firm?" And I said, "No, I really love acting, but thanks." And who knows? If I'd stayed with that firm, I would have moved up the chain, and unfortunately, I would have been in the World Trade Center when it went down.
Oh my God!
So you never know.
Yeah,
you never know where life's going to
decisions.
take you. Just take the chance when you have it and go with it. Run with it.
Yeah, they should make a Sliding Doors 2 about you, and and just see the different paths that you could have taken because it's
all of
pretty
us, man.
wild.
All
yeah,
of us.
Anybody.
It's interesting to me how if you have the courage to do it. I remember being down at Actors Theater Louisville, one of my gigs down there, and they had a bar, and I'd never been to a theater with a bar before that. And there was one of the company actors, several years older than me, and he was married and he had kids. And he'd have like 2 or 3 maker's marks, and he'd start getting a little emotional. He said, man, don't end up like me, man. If you get the shot to go to Hollywood, man. Do it, because you can't, after a while, you can't do it. You're not going to take the risk. And he was so right, especially when you're younger. Don't think so much. Do.
Yeah.
Do it. What's the worst that can happen? You're going to fall on your face and...
Yeah, you'll be okay.
You'll be okay. You'll get back up.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the fact that you knew that that's what you wanted to do and you stuck with it. And like hearing your that guy say that too, just did that help, or like hearing like a guy say that to you? Or
well, I just thought, don't drink so much, buddy. You cry when you drink. Don't be a sad drunk. Be a happy drunk.
Thanks for the advice. I'm gonna need your car keys.
Yeah, exactly. It was Louisville. He was probably walking.
Yeah.
But no, I look back on that time now and I go, wow, what got me to L.A.? How did I finally give up this notion of being this stubborn, pure theater actor to, you know what? I realized when I first walked around MGM Studios, the first studio I had an audition at, and I was there about a half hour, 45 minutes early, and I went, oh my God, there's Lawrence of Arabia up there. There's all these posters for all these old movies, and I'm thinking, I didn't see a lot of theater growing up in little Maumee, Ohio. I saw film at the Maumee Theater, and that's what influenced me to be an actor. Yeah. I'm in the right place. I definitely want to be out here and, be able to do this with my voice and like talk quietly instead of having to fill a theater of 2,000 people. It was so much easier. Yeah,
they're different. Yeah, as I said, it's nuanced. Like you can do a lot of different.
My theater
things.
Career, I have to say, I think got better because of doing film, because the old timers that I first worked with said, "You remember, everything's about the eyes on camera, and the camera never lies," and all this stuff about if you think it, if you feel it, it'll come out on film. That's all you have to do is just believe it.
I totally agree. And as I said, those eyes, you got some good ones.
You got those eyes.
Got those eyes. You know what I really want to do is just get a bunch of amazing actors like yourself and your friends, and just get a lie detector test and just see if you guys can get away with lies.
That's a very interesting test. I've heard in movies they put as if a prisoner could do this, but you put a little stone in your shoe. So whenever you want to answer the wrong answer, you step on the stone.
I've heard that. I don't know if that works. A thumbtack or things like that. Like,
You'd be an interview with us all going.
Like, so every time you tell the truth, you get your nerves jumping.
Right.
So then when you actually lie,
right. But you can't. I mean, I'm sure they're going to check your shoes when they arrest you and put you in a room with a lie detector company or test, right? I'm going to get that same pencil-y, thin mustache guy, like the bookkeeper on It's a Wonderful Life. Merry Christmas. Yeah, you too. That's what that guy looked like that did the test on me.
Man.
I could not make that guy smile at all.
I can't believe he was so sure, too. Like, oh, you did it.
No, just so confidently.
You did it.
Yeah, you did it.
I know.
I have to tell you, in all the years I've done this, I've never met a better liar.
That could have been... Yeah, that's crazy. That is.
I could have sued the pants off that guy.
You totally could have.
Instead, I walked away. I just walked away and said, "Okay, I can live with this. I'm a bigger man."
Yeah, and
I got a 30-year career to look forward to. Thank you, Buster Brown.
Yeah, and in a weird way, that just helped you, right? I mean, it just kind of lit the fire.
Definitely. I saw that guy once. I was on a bus on the Upper West Side. He was scoping out some places on Columbus, trying to find a new place. And I literally almost jumped off the bus to strangle him. And I thought, no, you know what? This negative energy is not going to do anybody any good. I'm just going to get arrested, and then now I'm going to have the bad story. He's got to live with that the rest of his life.
Yeah, because of course he found out.
Of course he knew, and he covered it up, and he didn't do it. Oh, the last part of that story is our buddy who was the maitre d' of the host of the restaurant called me up. It was 2 weeks later, and they found out that same thing happened again. It was a really busy Saturday night. They staged a walkout, and they left him with the entire restaurant.
Wow.
He had to take over the whole restaurant on his own. But I'm not a vengeful person.
No, not at all. You should at least get a couple free pies, though.
Now watch Pizzeria Uno reaches out. I look in my mail and I'm being sued by Pizzeria Uno.
What? That's a true story, though.
It's a true story. And I'll go to court. I will make a movie about it. Yeah. I'll make a documentary about it if I have to. No.
No,
I survived it.
I love that story. I'm really glad you told it. That's
You're like, yeah. As soon as we get to the editing room, I'm cutting it because it's too damn long.
No, that was, I could have sat for another hour listening to that. I'm not kidding.
Do you hear that, Nadine?
Put a lie detector on me. Another hour, Nadine. Get comfortable.
Just like cut it short. It's a long story.
Well, no, that was a fantastic story. I've never heard anything like that. And but I'm glad it happened.
Thank you, brother.
I'm glad it happened because look, you're here. You're on Resume. It all led up to this moment.
Exactly, and I love being able to tell that story because I've never told it, except to my wife and friends of mine. I've never told that story because it's not the most if you didn't know me and you knew that I failed a lie detector test and that you were thinking I was a liar.
Oh yeah,
it's not something you tell on a first date, right? It's not like, hi, this is who I am.
Yeah, hey, I'm a liar.
Don't you want to go out with me on a second date?
Yeah, you might want to work on that opening line. All right. Well, Robert, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
You're welcome, brother.
And appreciate it. Now, once again, Prison Break, Teabag, Fox, April 4th, as well as iZombie on the CW, April 4th. He has 4 indies coming out, too, and Dating Game Killer, too. Where's
Rocky 2, Frat Rocky Pack, Badsville, Dating Game Killer on ID Network, Kiefer's music video, iZombie, same night as Prison Break.
Twin Peaks. How do you find the time? Like, how do you?
I swear to God, I went from one gig to the next this
just
past year.
Nonstop, huh?
Yeah. No, but I love that. I'd love that feeling.
Just flies, though, right?
Yeah.
Good, man. And stay busy. And I'm glad you're doing this. And I can't wait to see everything.
You're gonna love Prison Break, by the way. Woo, it's so much fun.
All right. So everybody, remember, April 4th is Robert Knepper Day. Watch him on Prison Break and iZombie, and follow him on Twitter, Robert_Knepper, Instagram, Robert_Knepper official. Tweet him your receipts of buying a candy bar and toilet paper. And let's put this myth to rest.
I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth under imaginary circumstances.
All right, and just a reminder: the music that the listeners are hearing right now is available on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon. Just search Resume Podcast Theme. Check it out. Use it as your ringtone, whatever you want, and help support the show. Also, if you get anything on Amazon, click through the banner at chrisloxamana.com. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help support the show and the network and keeps the lights on here. Robert, thank you so much for coming in, man.
We're shaking hands right now.
We did. Yeah, they had no idea.